This is a 7-day shop, simple 3-mode torch. You've got high power, medium power and flash or strobe as they call it. It's not that good. I've turned off the external light, but the auto exposure is compensating, and the strobe's not very good. But initially, it looks pretty good. What I normally do when you can hear that, that's the replacement ball bearing on the focus mech. You can focus the beam on this, and that's just the back cover that you take off to pop in your 1 AA battery. I normally like to try and take things apart and inspect them to see how they work, and when I was doing it, I took that front section off and lost the ball bearing that was in there. There's a little ball bearing that presses against the silver section there, which makes it click. And what I had to do is I had to find a replacement, because classic of a ball bearing just rolls and you've lost it. And what I've found, there's the little hole. There's a hole with a spring in it that retains the ball bearing and pushes it up towards the silver section. You can see it better there. So that's the replacement ball bearing that I found, and this is where I found it from. A bag of silica gel. I've got loads of these. I'm into photography, so I have a lot of them anyway, but these are small ones that come normally with electronic items, cameras, etc., watches. You'll get them. They're just moisture absorbing silica gel, so that when the item's boxed and sealed, when it goes between different temperature ranges, you don't get condensation build up around the electrical item. So yeah, I just took one of the balls out of there, popped it in, and I'm now holding it in with my thumb, and if you can see on there, there's some little indentations. That's what that clicking is, when it's sort of locking on those. It just stops it from rattling around and it actually locks it in position. So it's a bit tricky to fiddly to get that back on, but you push that back on and you can hear the clicking. So that's that little silica ball pressing against that, and then this is just the retaining ring that sits on the top. And then as you're twisting that, that's focusing the beam. You can't see it, I haven't switched the torch on because the battery's on the deck. But yeah, this is just the reassembling of it. The adjustable part at the end. Fully functioning. Battery in. Plus down. Back on. And a fully functioning torch. As I say, you have 2 modes. You can fully press it and it will go through each mode every time it comes back on, or you can just lightly press it to, like in sort of theory, scroll through the modes. This is what I normally always do with torches. It's a little bit of extra weatherproofing. They come with O-rings, which are fine, but they don't always work on the cheaper stuff. Like these 7-day shop torches were like a couple of quid. So all I need to do, there's 2 sections where you need to actually do this. Well, you don't need to. They're just additional weather sealing for the battery compartment. I'll show you the actual clip. There's 2 parts here. The O-ring just flew off, which you didn't see. But yeah, you have 2 rubber O-rings. There's one on this end and one on the other. And these just sit inbound of the threads up against the body. Sometimes they're good and other times they just don't do anything. So all I'm doing now is using the cotton bud with the Vaseline to fill the threads. It just adds additional weather sealing on those threads, because that's where the water will get in. If it gets past that O-ring, it will just seep down and go down those threads. So all I've done there is filled the threads with Vaseline, and then I just need to clean off any excess with the other end of the cotton bud, just to make sure, because you don't want it everywhere, you just want the bare minimum to do the job. So tidy that up a bit. O-ring's already on, the belt clip goes on, and then you seal that. That belt clip will clip on so that the torch is facing up, if you see that. On the other one that I've got, I've managed to actually take the back end off, the bottom end where the actual button is, and put it on there so that when it's on the clip the actual torch faces down. It's a bit tricky, but it can be done. It just takes a bit of time and effort. So that's that just all cleaned up, so there's no excess Vaseline on the outside of the torch. You just have to do exactly the same with the other end. So you take that off, but to make this one a bit easier, I'm just going to put the Vaseline on the inside part. It doesn't matter what one or what side you put it on, but if you look on the actual button that's on the desk, I didn't want to get anything near the contact, the little sort of gold nipple part you see. That's the actual battery contact for the negative end of the battery. So all I'm doing is applying plenty of Vaseline to that internal thread and just making sure that there's no excess blocking the hole for when I put the battery in. These are good little torches. They're only a couple of quid. I think they're about what, £5-6 quid. I think they're brilliant. I'll put a link to them on there. I'm not sort of like over endorsing 7 Day Shop, but for the money you can't really moan. And that's basically it. All reassembled, fully functioning, high power, medium power, and strobe. It does strobe better than that, but it's just to do with the way the camera's displaying it. And that's it. Cheap 7 Day Shop watch torch. Thank you. Bye.